Okay.
Yes.
You're doing a good job of it.
Thank you.
Very good. In studio with us, we've got a full house today. Adam Butler with the Wildlife Bureau is here. How are you?
Glad to be here.
We've got, of course, Major Chris Reed and his technical problems.
That's it. I'm always here ready to do whatever I'm asked.
Ricky Flint, we're going to be talking with you in just a bit. I love this. You're the Alligator Program Coordinator.
That's it.
And that we had one for you down in Pike County at the end of last week. I'll tell you about that later. It wasn't hunting size, though, so
okay.
it wouldn't qualify for the
I'm
for the
sure
program.
we responded if needed.
And from the Mississippi Museum of Natural Science, Nicole Smith. How are you?
Hello.
Now, you guys, alligator permits, let's just go ahead and talk about that just very briefly. We'll get into the details a little bit later on, but it's the permit application season's coming up, isn't it?
Application process is in process.
Oh, okay, so it's going now.
It started Friday, and it'll end this coming Friday at 10 a.m. So we'll be giving everybody all the information they need to be prepared to get their application in should they have desire to go alligator hunting this year.
Fantastic. So we're going to give you that information a little bit later on here in the show. Adam, a lot of stuff going on as always. This is the busy season.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on. We've got a lot going on at the Museum of Natural Science, and I know Nicole's going to go over a lot of that today, so full episode there. Tomorrow night in Humphreys County, if you're a pond owner, we're having one of our fisheries bureaus having a pond workshop there tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Listeners may remember several episodes back last month that we went through kind of Pond Management 101, had Larry Bull here doing that. So these pond management workshops that kind of doing out in the field go over a lot of that same stuff in a little more detail. So if a listener may be interested in that, they can contact Humphreys County Extension Office and get signed up for that. But that's at 6 p.m. Our fisheries guys have been doing a lot of those around the state of late. Also, we have a new, for your hunting and fishing license, we kind of have a new auto renewal system. So if you're interested, I encourage people as they go to sign up or go to renew their hunting license, or if you want to just keep from forgetting, go ahead and see that on our website, the new auto renewal feature with that. I know. You don't want to have to run into one of Major Reed's folks out there because you forgot, and that's easy to do.
What does that mean? What are you talking about there?
So, the way hunting licenses are now, they're valid for 1 year from the date of purchase. Mm-hmm. But, if you purchase that license, opening day of dove season or like mine, I think mine always expires December the 17th or something. It's just kind of a random day.
Yeah.
So you can sign up for auto renewal so that the license will automatically renew. You give it your account information or credit card information or what have you, however you want to purchase that, and it will automatically do that for you every year on the date that the license expires. Or actually, it'll do it before so that you're getting the license ahead of time so that you don't have a gap.
No lapse.
Yeah,
no
so
lapse
you don't
in
have a
your
gap
license.
there, so you don't have to run afoul with officer in the field because you may have forgot.
Yeah,
so it's a new feature that we have in the license system, so people may want to go check that out.
Major, he's trying to put you out of a job, sounds like.
Yeah, it's a good idea, though, I think, because we do run into that fairly, not regularly, but more than not when you're out there checking, people pull their license out or, oh, I forgot. And it sometimes, it is a genuine forgetfulness where it was like it expired the day before, 2 days before. Sometimes they forgot, like 3 or 4 months prior, and we use discretion.
A little different situation there, right?
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, they spend a lot more time making sure they got their gun packed, they got the right bullets, they got their camouflage, the right boots, but they fail to check their wallet to make sure that their license.
Yeah, we've run into it a bunch of times when people are scurrying about opening days or whatever the case is, and they're trying to do it on their phone while they're driving to wherever they're hunting, and then they run into that no service area or the low service area, and they're struggling to try to get, the purchase to go through and get the confirmation number. It not only takes care of that, it's also a way to, for people who are, and this is kind of a Dave Ramsey type deal, but it's a scheduled payment there, so it's not catching you off guard.
Right.
You kind of expect it every so often or whatever, whenever you're scheduled to get renewal, and it'd be little more easy to digest.
Well, for some people, and I know a lot of people have this problem. I had this problem back when we had inspection stickers on cars. It was the easiest thing in the world to just forget. It would just slip your mind.
Right there in front of you every day. You see it.
You're staring past it to look at the road, but
yeah.
sometimes the same thing happens there, and this takes care of that problem.
Right.
That's a good idea.
And years ago, we had it was a hard date. It was probably
June 30th.
Decade or so ago. Yeah,
June 30th. They used to always
July
expire.
1 in my mind, but yeah. And then probably 10 years ago, we went away from that, where it's calendar date from the date you purchase it. So that makes it where you get in that case.
And that's part of the issue. Is back then people had that date hard set in their mind. If it was after June 30th, my license may not be valid. And now they really can't remember when they bought their license. So you really need to go back and check.
Yeah. Well, we're busy. And
yes, we are.
If you don't believe me on what I'm about to say, ask Ricky. It's all the millennials' fault.
All right.
I'm just saying.
They get a lot of credit for stuff.
Yes, they do. They get a lot of credit for stuff.
They come up with some neat ideas.
Well, and that's the thing. There's positives and negatives.
Yeah.
They still don't have a pocket knife, but there's positives and negatives. It's we have one millennial in the room sitting here trying to be really quiet over on the side.
Prime example.
But yeah, everybody has.
He may not have a pocket knife, but he can run the live stream.
Yes.
So,
Can.
and that's applicable this day and age. 20 years ago, there was no such thing as live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And
adapt and overcome.
He hasn't used a pocket knife to do it once.
That's right.
So it works. It all works. This is the busy time of year, and the traffic is up on the waterways, in the parks, everywhere, which I would think, Major, would lead us to probably need to remind people very quickly about safety.
Yeah, it's boating season. It's in full effect. It generally kicks off in May and kind of really peaks with Memorial Day weekend, which we just completed. But we still are dealing. 2019 will be remembered as the year of the flood, because we still have floodwaters in a lot of places in the state. The Mississippi River is rising again, and so we get a lot of calls because it's been so long, the duration of this water has been so long that when we enacted this no-wake zone, dead slow, when you're operating on Mississippi River, tributaries attached to it, Oxbow Lakes, etc., people have forgotten about that because it's been months.
110 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A long time.
Unprecedented.
And so it's still there on those areas that are affected by floodwaters, and some of those areas have gotten worse, since the springtime. And so when you're operating there, you can still access those bodies of water. You need to idle speed, no wake. Don't leave a wake, because you're trying to protect people's property, which if you were in that situation, you'd appreciate that.
There are people who have homes that literally has the water lapping at the threshold of their home.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the difference in one person coming by in a boat throwing a big wake is the difference in little to no damage to tens of thousands of dollars of damage. So that's very important to those people who live out there.
Yeah, and that's some of the reason we do that type stuff. People may be wondering why, and that's some of it. But there are other bodies of water, the reservoirs, some of these areas that aren't connected to the Mississippi River or the backwater flooding that you can operate normal. There's no restrictions there, but you need to be mindful. Like we were kind of talking about our hunting license going out. Make sure your registration's up to date on your boat. Check that stuff before you get out there and you're operating. Make sure you have life jackets on board, and make sure your boat's in a good. If it sits up all winter, and that ethanol gas begins to gum up, and you run it for the first time, it may run good for an hour or two, and then you may experience some breakdown. And so maybe run it, test it out, get it checked out before you go out there and you get stranded. We'll come try to get you, but it'd be a situation that maybe can be avoided, that some of the common stuff when you get back out and start operating. So just some of those things to remember.
It will run perfectly right up until you get the farthest away from land possible, and then it dies. That's the way it always works.
Completely kaput, no hope left.
And the trolling motor battery is probably dead too. So.
It's not full charged, and then you're going to run it down, and then you don't have a paddle. So,
and then the cell phone service is out.
Yeah. So we urge folks to kind of go through those checks before you get out there and ensure, because we want everybody to have a good, enjoyable time on the water, and that would lead to not having such an enjoyable time. So
that would kind of wreck the day just a little bit.
Yeah, and make sure you're out there, you're hydrated with water, Gatorade, something like that, because it's hot.
Be prepared.
Hot, and we're out there checking compliance.
Well, let's pull Mr. Ricky Flint up to the front here, because you have this process ongoing right now for alligator hunting permits, and how's it going so far?
It's going great, practically flawless, and we had about 400 applications submitted within the first 2 hours on Friday, and the numbers as of 8:15 this morning, we had 2,560 applications submitted. So it's going well. I think numbers-wise, that's about on track for the last couple of years. We've been averaging about 4,400 applications the last 2 years. And so that's got us about on track. We'll see a surge usually in those first couple of days, and then it'll kind of lull out a little bit, and then you get to that last day and a half, there'll be another surge of applicants. And we've got the information out there on the website for you to get prepared if you're interested in this application for an alligator hunting permit. There are 7 alligator hunting zones statewide opportunity, and we have an allocated number of permits in each of those 7 zones. They range from anywhere from 40 permits in the northwest zone to as many as 190 in the west central and the southwest zone. And that's a slight increase from 2018. We had an increase of 30 permits total this year. Now we're at 960. So if you're interested in getting a permit for the alligator hunting season, you must make application. The easiest way to do that is to go online to the MDWFP website. The very first thing you'll see when that website comes up is an alligator head in the banner. That's very obvious, and you'll click on there to learn more, and you will be directed to the application process. You must be a resident of the state of Mississippi. You must be at least 16 years of age, and you must have one of the prerequisite licenses on file at the time you make application. If you are exempt from a Mississippi hunting license, such as our disabled exempt and our senior exempt license type customers, you will need to purchase one of those exempt licenses that will make you eligible to apply. Gives you one of our hunting licenses to be able to do that. So 65 or older or exempt, you're not exempt from the license process in the application. If you are a lifetime license holder and you are a non-resident, you are eligible, because all lifetime license holders are eligible for the alligator application process. The easiest way, like I said, is to go online, but you can do these at any location that sells Mississippi and hunting fishing license. There will be a random drawing within each of those 7 zones on June 12th. And an email address is required at the time of application. The reason why is because that's how you're going to be notified that you've been drawn. On June 12th at 12 noon, we'll send out email notifications to all the winners. They will then have a 48-hour period to purchase that permit. The permit is $200. The alligator hunting license is $25. And then after that 48-hour period, any leftover permits in those zones, we will submit another drawing for the leftover remaining applicants on June 24th. And then they'll also get an email notification and have 48 hours to purchase the permit. So we've gotten it down. It's very simple, and it's very unharmful for those customers to be able to get all the information and get the process completed.
Now, you mentioned that you have to have one of the prerequisite licenses. If you don't have one of those, can you just go buy one of those and then do your alligator permit?
You can. You can actually go online this very moment. You could buy one of those prerequisite licenses. That information is replicated into the system, used within 10 to 15 minutes. So I tell people to wait about 20 minutes, and then you should be able to go into the application process. It will then recognize you as having one of those valid prerequisite licenses. It'll let you go buy the application. And again, this is one of the reasons why we set this system up with a 7-day period. If something happens and something is wrong with your license, or your driver's license is expired or something like that keeps you from being able to apply, you've got 7 days. You can always get that rectified and apply the next day. So we've simplified it. We've broadened the amount of time that you make the application and get the permit done.
Well, and you just gave a great reason why you don't want to wait until Friday.
Yeah, you don't want to wait till Friday, because if there's one of those things that is dependent upon some time to get rectified, then you're going to run past the deadline.
And then you've just cost yourself a shot at it, because with the drawings and everything, you basically have over 4 times as many people that want these as you have permits available.
Yeah, some of the drawing odds in the zones can range as low as maybe 1 in 3 chance to as many as 1 in 12, which still, I think if you were in a racehorse, 1 in 12 is not bad, huh?
No, it's not bad.
Yeah,
it's not. I'm still going to put my money on the 1 out of 3.
Yeah,
but still, that's not too terribly bad.
No, it's not bad, and it is totally random, and so everybody has an equal chance. And we always get this every year. There's rumors about the same people being drawn year after year after year, and that simply is not the case. There are a lot of people out there that are networking. They've got their friends and family, and they all are interested in alligator hunting. They all put in for an application in the hopes that one of the group gets a permit. And then as the way the hunt is set up, then everybody gets to go. They can all be a part of the hunt. And so you may see the same hunting parties out there from time to time, but it's not the same person being drawn.
Now, let me ask you, if you're doing this online, you get emailed a link to go purchase your permit if you're drawn.
Right.
How do you get your tags?
The tags are actually attached to the printed permit and the license. They come in the mail within a couple of weeks, and there is a tag perforated onto your license. It's a kind of a weatherproof material. It pulls off, and then the hunters, once they harvest their alligator, tear that tag off, sign it, and has a little perforation, and they attach that to the alligator. That makes their alligator harvest legal before they transport it. It's very simple.
Well, you guys, one of your guys had a little bit of work to do down in Macomb Friday, I think it was, because there was an alligator. It was a baby, probably head to tail about this long, that just crawled out in the middle of Park Drive Extension and just decided, you know what, this is warm. I'm going to stay here for a while. And he had to come out, and it was a sensation around the area. We don't see a lot of alligators in the middle of the road down there.
If it's going to happen, it's going to happen this time of year. May and June is probably our highest level of alligator nuisance complaints. They're kind of on the move following the breeding season. And so we see a lot, particularly those juvenile size alligators, that 5, 6, 7 foot range are the ones that move the most. And so, yeah, I mean, we're getting calls in many parts of the state, as many as 6 or 7 calls a day, depending on what type of call. And not all of them require action from us to go and deal with. But when they're in the middle of a road or in a parking lot blocking traffic, or they're in your yard, in your swimming pool, then we'll respond immediately.
And you guys did a fantastic job with it. Just bam, right there, took care of the problem, took it away. I don't know where it went, but one that size, I would assume, with the alligator hunting, wouldn't be big enough to harvest.
Yeah, on the alligator hunting season, they have to be at least 4 feet in length. They are allowed to take 2 alligators during the hunting season per permit. Only one of those 2 alligators can exceed 7 feet in length.
Okay. Now, they have until, 10 o'clock Friday morning, right?
10 o'clock Friday morning. That's June 7th will be the deadline. So if you wait till the last minute, like we said, and there are some problems with your prerequisites or something like that, go ahead and get your stuff in order and try and make your application. I highly recommend before Thursday, because particularly if it's a driver's license expired situation, which will prevent you from being able to buy a license with our agency, you're going to need a full day to be able to get that rectified usually and have that updated into the system so that the system recognizes it. So go ahead and apply early.
One final question on this whole process. You've got 7 different zones. So can somebody just go file an application in all 7 zones and just get a boatload of apps?
Good question, because no, you're only limited to 1 application, but you do get to choose which zone. And so you will, if you're drawn, you will be drawn in the zone that you desire to hunt in.
Can't just go apply everywhere and try to boost your chances.
Right.
Yeah, you got to.
It's counterproductive for us to do it that way.
You got to pick your spot is what you got to do. Nicole Smith with us here from the Mississippi Museum of Natural Science. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Now, you guys always have something going on, it seems like.
Little action-packed. I'm a little bit to blame for some of that, but it's going to be a great summer.
Oh, we're going to totally blame you, but that's okay. It doesn't bother us. It's just the employees that are going, something else?
Yeah, pretty much.
Tell us about what you got going on.
So this Wednesday is our annual Snake Day event, and this is one of the biggest events we do all year. It's just really popular. We have herpetologist Terry Vandevender is going to be there with us, and he's going to give 2 special lectures during the event, one at 10 o'clock and one at noon, about the venomous and non-venomous snakes you can find here in Mississippi, how to behave when you see them, and to learn a little bit about identification. And we're also going to have kids' activities downstairs. So when the lecture's full, that's okay. Don't be upset. We're going to have another one, shortly thereafter, and there'll be activities for the kids to do downstairs, learning how to tell what reptiles are, what characteristics they all share. We're also going to learn about how to know your difference between your venomous and non-venomous snakes through one of the activities for the little kids down there. So that kind of works with some scouting protocols, too, for the reptile and amphibian badge. It's going to be a good day. So from 10 till 2, Snake Day, and it's nothing more than our usual admission, and it's free for members. So it's a good time to come out.
Oh, that's fantastic. And Terry is incredible.
Oh, he's such a great educator. He's just a real gift to Mississippi.
Yeah, I've seen him at several state parks and other events, and it's just amazing the amount of knowledge this guy has on snakes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He literally wrote the book in some cases, so he's a great guy to have.
And there's a lot more to learn than you think. Most people think the only thing you need to know about snakes is there's a snake, run. And it's a lot more in-depth than that.
There's a little more to it than that. He talks about safe behaviors when you see animals in the wild. He also talks about all the variety of reptiles that we have here in our state, snake specific, of course, how to identify some of them. And at a certain point in the program, people are allowed to get up and kind of walk past the snakes that we have on display. A few of them are touch animals, those that you can get up close and meet. Our professionals will be handling them so that you and the snake are comfortable. And I think that's a great thing, because I always have little kids particularly tell me that it doesn't feel like they thought it would. I think they expected it to feel really rough and ragged, and in many cases, snakeskin is incredibly smooth and silky. So I think that's kind of a neat awareness for them, and also that awareness that if you're cold-blooded, like these nice reptiles are, touching them, you can feel the coolness through the skin, that it really is. They do depend on their environment for their temperature. So.
And as we all know, and this is you guys' mission over there at the museum, the more education that happens, the more they know, the more involved they get in the outdoors, and the less scared they are of some things in the outdoors that they don't have to be frightened of.
Right. It's about being smarter in the world around you, and you can be good neighbors with wildlife. You don't have to be frightened of them. You just need to act responsibly around it.
Now, of course, you have a special event every week to end the week.
During summer we do. They're called our Fun Fridays, and this year they're our Dinosaur Fun Fridays, because we've got this great...
You can just quit talking now. I'm in. You said
Dinosaur
dinosaurs.
Fun Fridays. Yeah, we've got this nice new exhibit called Dinosaurs Around the World, and that officially opens up to the public this Saturday. But half the exhibit will be open this Friday for the first Fun Friday, and we've got all these other hands-on activities for kids to do. So these are from 10 till noon every Friday in June and July. There'll be a craft, a game, an investigation, movement activities. There's just so much that happen with these, and they're really great, especially for very young children. But we do try to throw in some stuff for the older kids too. And there's no extra cost for the Fun Friday. It comes with museum admission, because we try very hard to keep in mind that education shouldn't just be for those who can afford it. It should be, for everyone. So if you already have a museum membership, come on in, because that is the best bang for your buck right there.
That is fantastic. And of course, you always have summer camps that you offer.
We're actually right in the middle of it right now. This week is, I think, entering 3rd and 4th grade. So they're, as I speak, somewhere there is a small herd of children bouncing up and down and learning things about nature. So it's a good thing.
Well, considering there's always a small herd of 3rd and 4th graders bouncing up and down somewhere, you've added a good item to it with learning things.
Right. And our camp, all right, so every week is a different age group. And we still have room in some of the other camps. So coming up, we've got 5th and 6th grade camp, and we've still got room in that one. That's June 10th through June 14th. So if you are interested in that, you can check us out on the website and register through the links there. We also have, this is a really popular camp, the one called Junior Naturalist Camp. This one is an ecology-based camp, and it focuses on the identification, collection, and conservation of our native species. And there's an overnight component to that, at least one day during that week. Ooh. Really popular camp. And the other one, we added this a couple years ago. It's become really well known. It's called our field camp. This is 10th through 12th grade. And this is basically an introduction to field ecology. And it's a pretty serious camp. These are people that want to grow up to be field biologists, or just to have a different idea about what is a potential career path coming up here in our state of Mississippi. And there's still a little room. That one's going to be June 24th through 27th. So if you want to check out our website, you can see what they cost, their duration, when pick up and drop off, and all the extra background information is on all of these camps.
Now, give them the website.
mdwfp.com.
That's your one-stop shop for all of this.
It really is. And if you look up camps, it's under the education link in that website. You will find it, and it's all the stuff that we've got going on.
You talked about museum membership. How much is that?
It's different for individuals than it is for families. I think it's about $40 for an individual and $75 for a family, thereabouts. I'd have to check to double check that to be sure, but I think that's right. And I have families that come every week in the summer. And there's so many, about half of our events, a little over half of our events come with membership. Some have special prices, like if we have to hire a band or snow machines or something like that, they'll have a special price to help, offset that cost. But for the most part, it's a great value. And it also works with the ASTC, Association of Science and Tech Centers. It's a reciprocal membership. So there are about 300 museums across the country that if you have a membership with us and you're traveling and you want to go visit those places, they'll see your ID with us and they'll let you in.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. It's great value.
So great value, great deal. The kids are going to love it. I know that because you have mentioned dinosaurs and a snow machine all in the same conversation. So I know the kids are going to be over the moon.
That'll be at Christmas, actually, at our Snow Much Fun event. There will be dinosaurs during our Snow Much Fun event this year. So that's all she wrote. You better come out. That'll be the coolest thing in town. So
before the end of the calendar year, both at the same time. But right now, the dinosaurs.
Starting this Saturday, dinosaurs around the world. I don't think I'm joking when I say this is next level animatronics. We jokingly call it the once and future exhibit. Dinosaur exhibits are so popular, but this one is spectacular. We've got 13 different animatronic dinosaurs. There's some that I've never seen before that you probably just read about once in an article on like Discovery magazine or something, but the Megalosaurus is spectacular. It's this enormous sauropod, and it's got this interesting spinalation, double spine down its back that when its head moves, the spines move with it. Oh, man, it's so freaking cool. It really is.
Are any of the employees or cleaning staff willing to go in there at night when everything's shut down by themselves with the lights off right now?
Just imagine the overnight campers, what they're going to see this year.
Oh, they're going to have a blast.
It's going to be great.
They're going to have a good time. It's a lot of fun going on at the Mississippi Museum of Natural Science. Nicole, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hang around. Try to keep these guys straight. We got one more segment to go on Mississippi Outdoors Radio. have a couple of questions I want to get to. Still some people asking some questions about the Alligator program sign up. Ricky Flint, the Alligator program coordinator here, he can answer these. And one of them is very simple. When's the drawing again?
The first drawing will occur on June 12th, and notifications will go out at 12 noon that day.
So be watching your email inbox.
Right.
Because that's how you'll be notified.
Watch the email address inbox of the email address that you submit.
Now you're getting picky.
Yes.
But that's the only place you're going to get notification. And if you miss it for 48 hours, you lost your slot.
Right.
Because you'll do a second drawing. What is, I think, the 24th?
24th, yeah.
24th will be the second drawing for those that aren't watching that email inbox of the email that you signed up for the application.
Like always, with all these types of things, we encourage folks to check their junk folder, their trash folder, the spam folder, all these things where emails can wind up. But it works pretty flawlessly.
Now, one question that I have here. David in Indianola said, last year I went gator hunting with a group that had tags. I had to purchase a license to ride with them. This year I'm applying for a permit. Will I still have to buy a license to go?
Yeah, if you're drawn, everyone in the hunting party has to buy that $25 alligator hunting license. If you're drawn and you go through that 48-hour purchase period, you will be buying your alligator hunting license along with your permit at that time.
It's included.
It's included as part of it. Yep.
So if you get drawn, if you win the drawing and they select you, no, you will not have to buy a separate license. That's right. Just all bundled into one.
The link is going to get you to purchase everything that you need at that time.
Okay, but if you're going to do a ride-along with someone else who has a permit and has tags,
then anyone who's going along with someone who has the permit, if they're 16 years of age or older, they'll have to buy the $25 alligator hunting license.
Fantastic. Now, quick question. Under 16, can they just ride along?
They sure can.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know if that excluded them
There's
or
no
not.
age restriction. I have seen kids in boats with hunting parties as young as probably 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I've seen permit holders older than in their late 70s and very involved and very passionate about what they do. So it follows the age spectrum from one end to the other.
What about under 33? Can I ride along? Can I ride along without getting a
He said under 33, can he ride along without getting a license?
If you're under 33 and 16 years of age, or if you're between the age of 16 and 33, you're going to have a license.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Sorry, they'll still tell on you, Captain. Not much you can do about it.
And you'll be buying one of our prerequisite licenses, which will help this agency. We are 100% funded by license sales, and we get reimbursed 3-to-1 for every license from the Federal Friends and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And we'll be glad to bring these types of customers in. In fact, we've run the numbers in the years past, and about 5 to 6% of the people who get involved in our alligator hunts have never bought an MDWFP hunting and fishing license before. So the alligator hunting season is helping recruit new people into the hunting and fishing arena.
And let me just say, a hunting and fishing license in the state of Mississippi, one of the best investments you'll ever make. It's not expensive.
No.
You know, you're not going to have to mortgage the house or take out a loan to go buy one of these.
You can buy a small game hunting and fishing license for $8. It's good for a full year.
You can't beat that.
You can't beat the fun that you can have on that $8.
That's exactly right.
Bill too.
Yeah, it'll help with the grocery bill. It will, if you use it right.
Exactly.
You know, and if you have a pocket knife. Adam, real quick before we go, let's just give it another hit one more time. The pond management workshop that's coming up.
Right. Yep. There's a pond management workshop tomorrow night in Humphreys County at the Humphreys County Extension Office. So call the Extension Office if you're interested. So there you go.
And of
learn
course,
how to manage the pond.
Yes, which is important, especially if you want to help the grocery bill.
Right.
Nicole's all about the groceries. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Also, very quickly before we run out of time, the hunting fishing license auto
we talked
renewal.
about that earlier. Yeah, the auto renewal. Whether if you are buying a new hunting license, you can hit the auto renewal tab, and it'll do that a year from the date. Or if afraid you may forget when hunting season comes back, you can go ahead and go in online and set that up right now.
That is fantastic, and it keeps you out of trouble.
That's right.
That's fantastic. Mississippi Outdoors Radio is done on this Monday. Thanks to Adam Butler, Major Chris Reed, Ricky Flint, and Miss Nicole Smith.